Hey. My name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another good enough commander deck. This time, we're bringing you the new cards, the new sets. I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week now on my commander decks. One is going to be the newest set out. So this time, Final Fantasy just came out. I'm going to be working on those decks. Whereas the other will continue going through where I started, which is Lord of the Rings. I figured this will give everyone a little bit more and will be more fun for me, so I'm not just stuck only doing Lord of the Rings. I love Final Fantasy. Not that I know a lot about it, but I do love it. Let's get into this with Absolute Virtue, protection at all costs. Bracket info, just so you guys can see, it is bracket 2. No game changers, no mass land denial, there's no extra turns, there's no tutors. Unknown amount of 2-card combos, there's no 2-card combos. At least not on purpose. The thing about this commander, here's the cool thing, or about most of my decks, especially nowadays, because this one I, like, as you can see, made 11 minutes ago. An hour ago. I made it an hour ago, okay? Yeah. Here's the thing. I try to make my decks bracket 2 so that you can up it from there. Okay, I think bracket 2 is a perfectly fun spot to play. A lot of people play there. I highly doubt most people, if anyone, plays at bracket 1. A lot of people play at 3. Handful of people play at 4, and you got your CDH at 5, right? So I think 2 is a great place to start because you can just build upon it if you think you want to. But with that, let's hop in. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying my content. I just want more subscriptions, and that would mean the world to me. But let's get in. Absolute Virtue. Absolute Virtue is 6, a white, and a blue for an 8/8 Avatar Warrior. This spell can't be countered. Flying, you have protection from each of your opponents. What does that mean? You can't be dealt damage, enchanted, or targeted by anything controlled by your opponent. So their creatures, their spells, any of them, they can't curse you. They can curse at you, but they can't curse you. That's cool. I think this is such an interesting commander, honestly. It's big. It's big. It's an 8 for an 8/8. That's not easy. Not easy. You're going to need a lot of ramp to really push this guy out. Now, not being countered, great. Fantastic. We like that. That means he's going to stick. For a rotation, maybe, if no one removes it. It's going to get removed, guys. It's going to get removed. It's going to get removed. Run protection. This deck runs a lot of protection. Why? Well, this guy doesn't do anything other than protect you and hit hard. But let's hit a little harder. What's the goal? As always in Voltron's, 11 plus double strike. And you're in the right colors for that. So let's break into the 99. We got 8 creatures, starting with Esper Sentinel, 1 white for a 1/1 human soldier. When an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card, unless that player pays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. Just a good card advantage engine. It's not broken. It's not in your game changers list. It just gives you that, okay, cool, let me get some cards. Dropping this turn 1, you'll get some extra cards throughout the rotation. Ornithopter of Paradise is 2 generic for a 0/2 Thopter with flying, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. You need a lot of ramp in this deck. That's no joke. You need the ramp because he's an 8-drop. Or it's an avatar, so they're an 8-drop. Pure Steel Paladin is 2 white for a 2/2 human knight, and whenever an equipment hits the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equip 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. So this is double duty, okay? This is going to give you some card advantage because you're running a lot of equipment in this deck. Ooh, excuse me. And it's going to make your equipment cheaper to equip. Sram, Senior Artificer, is 1 and a white for a 2/2 Dwarf Advisor. And whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card. You're running auras and equipment, so that's going to give you some card draw, which your deck needs. Mesa Enchantress is 1 and 2 white for a 0/2 human druid, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you may draw a card. You're running auras, that's going to trigger, that's going to give you some card draw. Again, card draw, good. Find more equipment, beat up people. Sea Dasher Octopus is 1 and 2 blue for a 2/2 octopus with mutate 1 and a blue, and Flash. You can mutate at Flash. When you whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So you put this on your commander when you hit people and you get to draw a card, okay? Now you might wonder, was that necessary? Isn't everyone dead in 2 hits? Kind of. Here's the biggest issue. You need to find enough power to do it. You might say, well, it's just, you're an 8/8. Don't you just need 3 power? Yes. That's not always the easiest to find. So, because you're such an expensive commander, you're not going to just go, oh, hey, look, here's my commander, let's equip it. You have to run, your opening hands are going to have to consist of some type of card advantage and a lot of ramp to try to get your commander out, okay? So the downside of that is that in a lower CMC Voltron decks, you can have like, oh, well, it's a 3-drop or a 2-drop equipment deck, right? I can get some equipment, he'll come out turn 2 and we can start playing. Like if you ran Saram as your commander, he is the engine. You don't need to worry about Sea Octopus. Plus he comes out turn 2, so you don't really have to run a lot of ramp. You need to run ramp in this deck. Your deck needs to have ramp in its hand, and otherwise you're just not going to do a lot. So Sea Dasher Octopus is cool because you get him in your hand, you're like, cool, once I get this guy out, I'll be able to draw some cards. Tandem Lookouts, same thing, 2 and a blue for a 2/1 human scout with Soul Bond, and as long as Tandem Lookout is paired with another creature, each of those creatures have whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, draw a card. This just allows your commander to, again, draw you more cards for not too much. And then Solid Simulacrum is 4 generic for a 2/2 Golem, and whenever it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle, and when it dies, draw a card. Just some ramp. Sorceries, 3 sorceries. Windfall, which is 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards a player discarded this way. Astral Command is 4 and a 2 red, or 4 and 2 white for sorcery. Choose 2. Destroy all artifacts, enchantments, creatures with mana value 3 or less, or creatures with mana value 4 or greater. Just a good way to remove stuff. Get rid of all their tiny creatures that might be flying. Farewell. I love that the Farewell is Final Fantasy. Stay with me until the end, please. I need to play more Final Fantasy. 4 and 2 blue, white for a sorcery. Choose 1 or more. Exile are artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and or graveyards. So you can just hit a lot of things. A lot of times I just don't choose creatures or artifacts. Choose whichever one doesn't hurt you the most. So instances. Got a few here. An offer you can't refuse. This is 1 blue for an instant. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. This is just to protect your commander. A lot of times you just use these either to stop your opponent from winning or to prevent your commander from disappearing. Path to Exile is a white instant. Exile target creature. Its controller may search the library for a basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped. Pognify is a blue for an instant. Destroy target creature. Its controller regenerates. It can't be regenerated, and its controller makes a 3/3 green ape. Rapid Hybridization is a blue for an instant. Destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated, and that creature's controller makes a 3/3 frog lizard. Swords to Plowshare is a blue, is a white for an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. Just some good interaction, honestly. Arcane Denial is 1 and a white, or 1 and a blue for an instant counter target spell. Its controller draws 2 cards at the beginning of the next upkeep, and you draw 1. Counterspell, pay 2 blue to counter target spell. Negate, 1 and a blue to counter a non-creature spell. Reality Shift, 1 and a blue to exile target creature. Its controller manifests the top card of the library. You can, well, and then Gifts Ungiven is 2 and a white to destroy target permanent. Its controller gets a 3/3 elephant. And Stroke of Midnight's 2 and a white to destroy target non-land permanent, and its controller gets a 1 white human creature token. So, yeah, you can really switch these around. If you're more worried about protecting your commander, then replace some of these Generous Griffin, Stroke of Midnight, and Reality Shift with more counter spells. That'll help you protect your commander a little more. I like having things to remove problematic cards on the field because they can be problematic. Kitty tax. Here's my kitty. I am paying the tax. She is a very pretty kitty. But she is going to go down. Down you go. Those are the instances. Plenty of them just to kind of protect you and interact with your opponents. Next up is artifacts. Lots of artifacts. Why? It's a punchy deck. Let's go punch. Voltron deck. Shadow Spear. 1 blue, 1 colorless. 1 generic for legendary artifact equipment. Equip, creature gets +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. That's good. This gives you life. Why do you want lifelink involved in your decks? Because you're not running a lot of other creatures. So people are going to hit you. Okay? Once he's out, you don't have to worry about that. But before that, they're going to quickly take him out. He's got a problematic commander. We won't be able to damage him once he's on the field. Correct. Shadow Spear says, punch, give me 9 of that life back. So I can stay in the game. And trample helps you get over any of those small flyers. For 1 generic permanent your opponents control, lose hexproof and indestructible to end of turn. That's just a good way to remove problematic cards too. Soul Ring is 1 generic for an artifact, tap for 2 colorless. Wafer's Bauble is 1 generic for an artifact, pay 2, sacrifice to get a basic land, put it in the battlefield tapped. Arcane Signet's 2 for an artifact that taps for any color in your commander's identity. Arcane Signet's 2 generic for an artifact that you can pay 1 to tap it to add a white and a blue. Felwar Stone's 2 for an artifact that you can tap it to add 1 color of any land your opponents could produce. Mask of... That's just a lot of ramp. You need ramp to get your commander out in this deck. Mask of Avacyn's 2 generic for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has hexproof. Hexproof is important. Your commander can be destroyed. It can't be countered, but it can be removed. Avacyn says, no, you can't. You got to exile now. Mask of Memory, you have to board wipe it now, Mask of Memory is 2 generic for an artifact equipment and equipped creature. When equipped creature deals combat damage to player, you draw 2 cards and discard a card. Just more card advantage. Mind Stone's 2 generic for an artifact that taps for a colorless, or you can pay 1 to tap it, sack it, draw a card. More ramp. Ring of Evos Isle is 2 generic for an equipment. Pay 2, equipped creature has hexproof till end of turn, so that is some type of protection. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature if it's blue. It is blue, so each turn is going to get a little bigger. So in 3 turns, it'll one-shot people with double strike. Rogue's Gloves is 2 generic for an equipment. When equipped creature deals combat damage to player, draw a card, just more draw power. Swiftfoot Boots is 2 generic for an equipment. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. Pay 1, equip is 1. So this is just more protection. Talisman of Progress is 2 generic for an artifact that taps for a colorless, or you can tap it to add a white or a blue, but it deals damage to you. And Thought Vessel is 2 generic for an artifact. You have no maximum hand size, and you can tap it for a colorless. Bilbo's Ring is 3 generic for a legendary artifact equipment, and as long as it's your turn, equipped creature has hexproof and can't be blocked. This is interesting. You're not really running it for the hexproof on that case. You're running it so it can't be blocked by other small flyers. But also, when equipped creature attacks alone, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So, a lot of times you don't have to worry about not having to be blocked because you're flying, but every once in a while it's a problem. But also, being able to draw a card and lose a life because it's the only thing attacking is not bad. That's card advantage. Catasis Staff of Hermes is 2 and a white for legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has lifelink. Again, good way to just get your life back up. As long as you have 30 more life, equipped creature has +5, gets +5/+5 and is indestructible, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature. Equipped 2 white. This is just a really good card. It brings your guy from 8/8 to 13/13. Yeah. And then it gives it indestructible. And then on top of that, you prevent damage being dealt with it. So, lots of good stuff there. Champion's Helm is 3 generic for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. And if the equipped creature is legendary, which it is, it has hexproof. So, hexproof plus bringing it that 2 points, bringing it to 10/10 is pretty good. Darksteel Plate is 3 generic for an equipment. Indestructible. It's itself is indestructible. And then equipped creature gets indestructible. And equip is 2. So, pretty good way to just protect yourself. Or protect your commander. Which protects you. Fire Shriek is 3 generic for an equipment. Equipped creature has double strike. Equip 2. This is just the double strike. You want it. It one-shots people. Holy Avenger is 2 and a white for an equipment. Equipped creature has double strike, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage, you may put an aura card from your hand to the battlefield attached to it. That's not bad. You're running some auras to be able to just cheat them out isn't bad. Mithril Coat is 3 generic for an equipment. Flash, indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, attaches to a legendary creature you control. Equipped creature has indestructible. So it itself is indestructible, or equip 3. It itself is indestructible, and it hits the field, and just boom, your commander is indestructible, which is really annoying for people. Robes of Archmagi. 2 and a blue for an equipment. When equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. 4 for equip 4. Equip Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard. 1. It's not a Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard. So, not the best there, but to be able to just equip this anyway and just draw like 8 cards is insane. That'll probably win you the game. Or take someone out. Rover Blades is 3 generic for a 2/2 Artifact Equipment Vehicle, equip 2, equip creature has double strike, equip 4. Or is it double strike, equip creature has double strike, equip 4, crew 2. You're never crewing this thing, you're just going to run it to equip to your commanders that they have double strike. Sword of Fire and Ice is the only sword we're wanting in this deck, or those swords of. 3 generic, 4 in equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from red and from blue. When equipped creature deals combat damage to player, Sword of Fire and Ice deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and you draw a card. So that's good removal, and then also there's just the nice draw, and the +2 is good. Brass Knuckles is 4 generic for equipment. Whenever you cast a spell, copy it. Whenever you cast this spell, copy it. Equipped creature has double strike as long as there's 2 more equipments attached to it. So pretty easy to equip, and you got another equipment on it. You just boom there. Grappling Hook is 4 generic for an equipment. Equipped creature has double strike, and when equipped creature attacks, you may have target creature block it this turn if able. Equip 4. You don't really care about that second part usually. You're just trying to hit them hard. Hammer of Nizan is 4 generic for an equipment. When it enters the battlefield, another equipment into the battlefield under you control, you may attach the equipment to target creature you control, which just allows you to cheat out the equipment cost for your commander. Equipped creature has +2/+0 and has indestructible. Equip 4. This just allows you to drop it, give your commander indestructible and a +2. Leyline Axe is 4 generic for equipment. If this is the beginning, or if this card is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. Equip 3. So this is just like a really nice way to have double strike early on, and give that like +1/+1 sometimes. Plus trample is never bad. The Aether Spark, 4 generic for a 4 loyalty legendary artifact planeswalker equipment. As long as the Aether Spark is attached to a creature, the Aether Spark can't be attacked and has whenever equipped creature deals combat damage damage your turn, put them any loyalty counters on Aether Spark. +1, attach the Aether Spark up to 1 target creature you control. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature. -5, you draw 2 cards. -10, add 10 mana of any one color. With your absolutely huge commander, once you equip this, they will become a 9/9. You hit someone, you get 9, so you go from 4 to 9. You go from 4 to 13, and then next turn you can either add 10 mana or draw 2 cards. So it gets crazy. Or just +1/+1 it. Last equipment here, an artifact is, I think this is Genji Glove. 5 generic for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has double strike. Whenever equipped creature attacks, stop it. My cat's scratching at the window. Whenever equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat phase of this turn, untap it. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Yay! Why? Because you hit someone for 21 damage. Turn around. Hit someone else. So that's kind of the point. It's a really good card, actually. It's expensive. It's like 8 mana to do, but you can get to it. You got a lot of ramp. Now let's go over the enchantments. Combat Research is 1 blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchant creature has whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. As long as the creature is legendary, it gets +1/+1 and has ward 1. So you get to draw cards, it gets a little buff, and a little protection with ward 1. Curiosity is 1 blue for an enchant creature. Whenever enchant creature deals combat damage or deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Just a good way to draw some cards. Next is Staggering Insight. This is a blue or a white and a blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature gets +1/+1. It has lifelink, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's again just good. Lifelink is good in this deck. Battle Mastery is 2 and a white for an aura. Enchant creature. Get rid of that. Enchant creature has double strike. That's it. It's just double strike. Again, crux of your deck. Kratora's Ward is 2 and a white, or 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant permanent. Enchant permanent has hexproof. And when enchant permanent leaves the battlefield, if it's historic, draw 2 cards. Kind of an interesting thing. The chances of that happening is so slim in this deck, but it could happen. But you're running it for the hexproof. Here's the thing. All these draw cards with the double strike sound like, oh, well, what's the point? Well, if you don't get the cards that just allow you to win, this is a way. No, don't slip. She's slipping. Hi. She's such a love. Down you go. It just allows you to, like, okay, let's deal 16 damage to them and draw 2 cards. And let's hope that I draw into something that will win me the game, or that'll get my game bigger. So if you can deal 16 damage to someone, that's good. And then if you can get yourself bigger to like 21, now you can take someone else out, right? You're like, I can take them out later. Let's take this guy out. Because like even if you have to recast your commander later, they've taken 16. One hit will win. Ghostly Prison's 2 and a white for an enchantment. Creatures can't attack you unless they control 2 or more. Unless they pay 2 for each creature they control that's attacking. This is the same thing as Propaganda, but Propaganda is 2 and a blue. Why are we running these cards? Your commander prevents you from taking damage. If your commander's not in the field, which might take some time, dropping a Ghostly Prison or Propaganda on turn 1 or 2, depending on your ramp situation, is crazy. It's like, cool, you're not going to have to worry about dying as easily while you wait to try to get your commander out. Ophidian Eye is 2 and a blue for an aura, flash, enchant creature deals combat damage to, or deals damage to opponent, draw a card. A Redemption Arc is 2 and a white for an aura, enchant creature is indestructible and is goaded. And 1 in a blue, 1 in a white, exile enchanted creature. You're not going to do that. Technically you can. You can just equip this to a creature and then an opponent's creature, forcing them to attack other people, which can help. But mostly you're just putting this on your commander to give him indestructible. Shield of Faith is 1 and 2 white for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchant creature is indestructible. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may attach Shield by Faith to the creature. Or Shielded by Faith to the creature. So, you may. You don't. You just put this on your commander. Timely Ward is 2 and a white for an aura. You may cast Timely Ward as though it has flash if it targets a commander. Enchant creature has indestructible. Twin Blade is 1 and 2 blue or 2 white for an aura, flash, enchant creature. Enchant creature has double strike. And indestructibility, 3 and a white for an aura, enchant permanent. Enchant permanent is indestructible. Yep. And then 34 lands, and nothing special here. I'll scroll through them so you can see them. So, overall, I'll do a nice little scroll while I talk. Overall, the point of this deck is to be Voltron. I think it's really fun to have this commander that just kind of says, no, don't touch me. And then saying, hey, you can't touch it. Your buddies. He's helping you out. You're saying, I'm going to make sure you stay forever. Just defeat my enemies. And he's like, good job, buddy. I got you. I'll protect you, okay? That's kind of the point here. I think it's a really fun push to have a commander that's a Voltron that says, haha, you can't stop me because you can't touch me. So unless you're winning an I win deck, I'm not losing to you. And that's very frustrating. I think this is a commander that is a kill on sight, right? If they cast this commander, do not let them get protection on it. If they get protection, it's not legal, and yeah, because it hasn't been officially released. Yeah, it gets released this weekend. If you see this guy hit, you can't counter it, so you're gonna have to have removal. Remove it as fast as possible, okay? Otherwise, if they get shoes on it or indestructible on it and you can't remove it, you're gonna be hitting yourself. You're gonna be kicking yourself. You're gonna be like, I was gonna remove it and I didn't, and then he punched me really hard in the air and it hurt and I didn't like that. So yeah, I love him. I think he's super fun and I like my name for it. Protection at all costs. Yeah, he's gonna protect you at all costs and you're gonna protect it at all costs. That's the point. That's the idea. Honestly, don't cast it for 8. If I can give you any hints in this deck, don't cast this guy for 8. Cast him for 10. Cast him at 8 and either hold up a counter spell or have boots on him, whatever. When you cast him at 8, he's going to die. And then you're going to have to pay 2 more and then make sure you have... Yeah, so cast him a little later. Wait till you have enough to protect him. And then you're just going to be like, cool. Because even if you're like, oh no, I'm at like 10 life. How am I supposed to do this? If you get him out afterwards and go... boom, protect him. Then you're sitting here going, haha, I can't take more damage. Or be targeted by anything. So, yeah. Hold out, win the game. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.